I want to continue with the theme that we had on Friday, which was about building a relationship between ourselves and the space around us, a theme that I work with a lot, but one that I think is so important because it expands our sense when we're doing yoga beyond it just being physical exercises, and includes, we could say, something of the soul. So this is one of my favorite quotes. The airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. The airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. We'll stay with that thought. It comes from Heinz Grill's book, Free Breath. And we'll stay with that quote for the duration of our session. And we can notice how staying with that quote affects our breathing and affects just our awareness of ourselves and our awareness of our surroundings. So let's start in the standing position. We'll start as we did on Friday with an awareness of the space around us. Let's just come back to the sentence. You can look into the space, you can reach with your arms into the space if you wish, but we'll start with the actual thought itself. The airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. So let's just, our first exercise is literally to give that airspace our awareness. And you can do that using movements in whatever way you like. So you can do just simple movements with both arms. You can do it with just one arm. Always remaining aware. The airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. We can increase the movement to include not just the arm, but the whole of the side as well. Our side opens to this airspace. Our whole body can extend up into the surrounding airspace. And we can feel as we do this how the breath comes to us from that airspace. Really allow the breath in. If you press down with one foot, you've got something to press off against as you grow up into that airspace through your side. And you can feel how as your breath flows in, the rib cage expands, the lungs expand into that airspace naturally to accept the air. Let's come into the forward bend, just hanging, being aware of the airspace surrounding you from outside, around your back. Even if the breath is shallow, we can still be aware of the air that's not coming into the lungs. And now you can freely swing up and open yourself once again to the surrounding airspace, lifting the rib cage, streaming right up through the arms into that air. Let the breath flow right in, active lifting, and take the hands by your sides. We'll come into the sun prayer, remaining aware of the airspace around us. Take the hands together. Take the arms up. Come forwards. Take the right leg back. Open up into the half moon. Come into the plank. Take the knees, chest and forehead down. Slide forwards and open into the cobra. Push into the downward dog. Take the right foot forward. Grow into the airspace. And take the left foot forward. Come up once again and grow. And take the hands by your sides. Hands together. Stretch up and grow. Come forwards. Left foot back. Open up and lengthen. Come into the plank. Knees, chest and forehead down. Slide forwards and open into the cobra. Downward dog. Left foot forward. Coming up once again. And the right foot forward. Up once again. And hands down. The airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. The purpose of this quote is to give us a sense of our relationship with the space around us. We develop a sense of our own body and our own center, our own stability on the one hand, and a sense of participating in a natural way in what's around us on the other. We can also feel how our breath is an expression of this relationship. The breath comes and goes from the airspace. Let's do another round of the sun prayer with a particular awareness of our breathing and that relationship coming from outside to inside, a natural connecting flow. Take the hands together. Take the arms up, so we'll be aware of the breath coming and going from that open space around us, that open airspace. Let's take the hands down and look in. So the breath will be more shallow now as it flows out. Right foot back, open up, allow the breath to and fro from the airspace. You can extend upwards more, lengthening more. And then come into the plank. Take the knees down, arching your back, take the forehead down, bottom in the air, and then slide forwards and open into the cobra. Once again, the breath comes and goes from the airspace. Push into downward dog. Take the right foot forward. Growing and lengthening through the spine, through the arms, right through to the fingertips, but let the breath come and go. And the other foot forward. Come up once again. Lifting the rib cage, streaming up high. And take the hands down. A little bit faster this time. Stretching up, but allowing the breath, really lengthening. Take the hands down and look in. Left foot back. Lengthening upwards and growing. Coming into the plank. Knees, chest and forehead down. Slide forwards and open into the cobra. Push into downward dog. Left foot forward. Coming up once again and growing. Right foot forward. Come right the way up. lengthening a little bit more, lifting the ribs, streaming up through the spine and the arms, and take the hands down. So I'd like to come next to the scales. And with the scales, we can imagine that we lengthen into this surrounding airspace. So I'd like you to remain aware not only of the body, but of the space at the two ends, but beyond the hands, beyond the foot. Let's start with a preparatory movement, taking one step forward. Take the arms up. Let your breath flow. And just lengthen. Start to think of that space that reaches beyond your heel and beyond your hands. So you grow longer and longer. Let the breath flow. You can feel that stretch in your sides. See if you can even straighten your arms right up. I can see some of you have got your elbows a little bent. But if you think of the arms starting right down at the base of your rib cage, you can get a flow right the way through, so you get a better lengthening. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. Return, step forward. Good firm placement with that foot. Take the arms up, let the breath flow. So we're thinking of lengthening that back leg through the heel and lifting the ribs up through the upper spine, through the arms, right through to the fingers, and then back down again. And just roll down and hang forwards. And come back up. Just want to do that same preparation again and to mention about the hands. So I'm taking my hands together and I actually cross the thumbs. You won't be able to see on your screen, but I cross the thumbs and I hold the hands together, and I find that that helps. If I show you just down like this, that helps to really let me pull upwards more. It helps because very often the elbows are bent. But if you can take the hands and really push up, it can help you then to feel much more of a stretch in that region. And have a go again, just at that preparatory position, so that we can really work at stretching the body before we have to deal with the balance element as well. So take your hands together, cross your thumbs, your fingers are together. Take the arms above the head, and the hands form a kind of point, like an arrow. Now, if you grow backwards into that heel, you've got a counter movement to work against. You've also got the other foot very firmly on the ground. And then you can really lengthen through your sides, through your arms. Seeing if you can bring the arms right into a straightness. The body is actively stretched. And then return again. Same thing on the other side. Don't forget to breathe. Firm placement with that foot, growing into through your back leg, through to the heel, and now raising through the spine, through the arms, right through the fingertips, through to the fingertips, letting the breath flow. An active lengthening, active tension right through the body. And take the hands down. And then roll down and hang forwards. And come back up once again. So we're going to come to the scales, and I've moved my mat away because I want to allow space around me to come in. Because our theme is airspace today, we're going to do the scales in such a way that we start with the hands out in the space. We're going to direct that leg backwards into the space behind, and then sweep the arms forwards through the airspace. And then when we take the hands together, we can actively stretch out into that length. So take one firm step forward. Take the hands out by your sides into the space that you're feeling the space. Direct that other foot backwards into the space behind you and sweep your arms forwards. And then really lengthen now, lengthening into the space. And return right to the end, take the foot down, stretch up and grow into the space, and take the hands down. Same thing on the other side. Take one foot forward, good firm step. Hands are directed into the space at your sides. Grow in to your back leg, lengthening actively backwards. And now sweep the arms forwards through the space. Eventually taking the hands together, you can hold your thumbs like you did the first time, and now grow, really lengthen, stretching actively out into the space, letting the breath flow. And when you return, take the foot carefully down, take the arms above the head again, and take the hands down by your sides. Roll down and hang forwards. Let's do the same thing again. Roll back up. Let's do the same movement again on each side. So taking a firm step forward, taking the hands into the surrounding space, growing into the back leg, good firm movement backwards, sweeping forwards through the surrounding airspace, lengthening actively into the position. But remember that the airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. So your body is firmly stretched out, but it's surrounded by air. Return again, taking the foot carefully down next to the other one. Stretch actively upwards into the airspace. And take the hands by your sides. And the other side. Good firm step with your foot. Hands directed into the space by your sides. Grow backwards. Pushing the leg actively out. And sweep forwards with the arms, take the fingers and grow. Be aware of the airspace surrounding you, coating your body. Return again, take the foot down, grow actively upwards, stretch up even further, and take the hands by your sides. And let the breath flow. Right, would you like to come down into a sitting position next? So on Friday we did the sitting balance. We'll come to this one again. We'll have a lifting up of the chest this time, the heart center in particular, and streaming right up through the arms. As you did before, you can again cross your thumbs like that, and take your fingers together, not apart, but together, so that you can really use those arms to help you stretch further upwards. And when you've got that good active lifting into the space above you, you can take the hands, the legs up as well. Let the breath flow and just think of growing up into the surrounding airspace. Body forms a clear V-shaped form, but it's in the space that surrounds it. Let the breath flow. Keep going a little bit longer. The body will tremble. That's part of it. Then come back down again. So these positions really expand our breathing. We'll do another very active one. This one's called the Jackknife. And you have to do it 5 times. You have to really think clearly about it first. It's a good exertion of the abdominal muscles. 5 times touching your toes, like that, okay? So to lie with the arms above your head, feet together, legs straight, and think about what you're going to do. The fingers come and the toes come together in the air above you 5 times when you're ready. And then relax. Let the breath flow. So the airspace clothes the physical body, surrounds the physical body, and clothes it with a gentle coating. The air that we breathe comes from this space, and we're going to do an exercise now that opens the lungs in a very full way to this airspace. And this one is the fish. You all know the fish. So you can take your arms right underneath your body, palms side by side, straighten out your legs, and then come right up onto your elbows. So first of all, we're going to open the middle part of the lungs, the biggest part, which is the rib cage area and the chest. And then you can drop the head right back to open out your chest and collarbones. Be aware of the breath flowing fully and freely, particularly into the tips of the lungs and the chest area. There's a good tightening of the spine. Then come back down and relax again. And come up to a sitting position. So we'll finish off with the head to knee position. And once again, we're going to allow some space to take the arms a little bit apart so that we can feel the airspace around us. Legs are firmly on the ground together, feet together. Good uprightness with your back. And take the arms into this open V shape, as if they flow out into the surrounding space. Come forwards, flowing outwards through the arms, through the hands and the fingers. Let your breath flow, good active extension outwards, through the spine, through the arms, through the fingers. Let's come up once again. An extension upwards and out into that surrounding airspace. Take the hands down. I just want to show you how we're going to come into it this time. We're going to come forwards first with the arms out, like that, and then we're going to sweep them together, lengthening even more as we do so. So if you'd like to come into that position. Wide open arms, reaching into the airspace. Come forwards into a diagonal if you can. And then growing even more further forwards as you take the arms right out and stretch actively out into that lengthening forward bend. Come back up once again. Stretch up higher into the space above you, really growing. Take the hands down by your sides. This time we'll come into the final position, but remember not to round your back, always growing forwards into the surrounding space. Take the arms out into that V shape, grow forwards. Continue to sweep the arms forward, stretching and lengthening through your back. You can again link your thumbs like we have done in the other position, so you can really stretch. You can really grow through the arms and really stretch, lengthening your whole back. Eventually, the hands can come down, but continue that sense of lengthening forwards, nose towards the toes. Let the breath flow. Always lengthening. Becomes a bit calmer in this final position. Be aware of the breath, which comes from the airspace. The airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. You can feel the breath coming and going. Come back up once again, reaching high up into that airspace, lengthening, and take the hands down. Just take your hands behind, arch your back, open up your chest. And then return again. You could just finish with a brief inclined plane. Let's come right up into this position, straightening out the legs, opening up the body, dropping the head back, letting the breath flow fully and freely from the surrounding airspace. And come back down again. Let's come into a sitting position. Legs firmly on the ground, your spine upright, chest open. The airspace surrounds the physical body and clothes it in a kind of gentle coating. Let's finish our session there.